side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey guys, my name is Casey and you're watching the Red Rubber Duckling All Sports Network. It's currently midnight and I'm trying my best to not wake my parents up. But we are getting into part 3 of this FBS college football, English football pyramid. And it's going to be a really exciting video because we are finally in the promotion stages. Because keep in mind, the semifinalists of each league, which is the championship, League 1 and League 2, will be promoted up a tier. Except for the Premier Division, because that's going to be your college football playoff. So we will have Michigan and Penn State, and then Texas and Oregon, and then Alabama and Georgia, and then Florida State and Ohio State. In the championship division, that's going to be your promotion up to the Premier League. Washington, the current number 2 seed in the college football playoff, will be facing Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and then Tulane, Louisville, and Wisconsin, and then Oklahoma and Oregon State. In League 1 for promotion up to the championship, we will have NC State and Iowa State, and then Oklahoma State and Air Force, and then Boise State and Kentucky, and then West Virginia versus North Carolina. And they actually did go up against each other in real life in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and West Virginia ended up winning that one. Let's see what goes on in these playoffs. And last but not least, first off, we're going to start with League 2 for promotion up to League 1 on the line. We got Missouri and Fresno State up first, and then it'll be Arizona versus Miami of Florida. And then James Madison will go up against Troy, and then SMU will face off against Kansas. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with Missouri and Fresno State. I said before, the championships, League 1 and League 2, will be played at their home field, except for the championship game, which will be at the site of the College Football Playoff National Championship, which is in NRG Stadium in Houston. Here we go again with the Barbie ads. Get on my site. Oh well. Not much you can do there. All right, Missouri versus Fresno State. Let's see who's going up to League 1. And it will be the Missouri Tigers getting a late touchdown to seal the deal, 39-30. So while Fresno State stays put in League 2, Missouri will be promoted up to League 1 for the 2024-2025 season. All right, so the next matchup will be Arizona versus Miami of Florida. All right, let's see if we see an upset in this one. We do not. Arizona, the number 2 seed in League 2, will move on to League 1, 31-26. Miami will go there. And Arizona moves up. Okay, so this next matchup is going to be interesting because this should have been the Sun Belt Championship, but the NCAA likes to throw in their transition rules. But it's James Madison going up against Troy. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah, here. Sweet Lord. James Madison will be moving up to League One as a big fat ha ha ha. You can you can take your transition rules and shove it, NCAA. 54-20. James Madison will be moving on. All right, Troy moves here. James Madison is down there. And to wrap up League Two, we got SMU going up against Kansas. Let's see what we got. Yeah, here, Max. And it will be Kansas moving up from League Two. 35-31 with a 13 point, with 15 point fourth quarter. And they came back from a 21-6 halftime deficit to shock SMU, and Kansas will be moving up to League One. So as you can see, SMU will stay in League Two. Oops. And Kansas will be going up to League One next season. So just to recap, Missouri will be going up against James Madison in the semifinal, along, and then Arizona and Kansas will make up the next semifinal. All four teams will be celebrating. So these semifinals are just going to be for placement reasons. All right, so League One, the first quarterfinal matchup and promotion game will be NC State versus Iowa State. All right, here we go. North Carolina State versus Iowa State. Let's see what we got. And we have an upset as Iowa State, while Contreras misses an extra point for the Cyclones, he connects on two crucial field goals, including the game winner. And Iowa State knocks out the number one seed and prevents them from going any further. So NC State gets sent down. As for Iowa State, they get promoted up to the championship division. All right, next up is Oklahoma State going up against Air Force. All right, let's see what we got. And this one will not be an upset. It'll be smooth sailing for the Oklahoma State Cowboys as they move on 34-23. So Air Force stays down there. And Oklahoma State moves up to the championship. All right, this next one should be a pretty close one. It's Boise State going up against Kentucky. All right, Boise State going up against Kentucky. And there will be no SEC bias here. Boise State moves on, and it's a close field goal, and it's a close game, as to be expected. And Jonah Dalmas, a 50-yard field goal as time expires, and Boise State will be sent to the championship division. So Kentucky will be going down there. And Boise State will be moving up to the championship division. All right, next up is a rematch of the Duke's Mayo Bowl, West Virginia and North Carolina. All right, next up is West Virginia going up against North Carolina. Winner gets promoted, and it's West Virginia. Sorry, Red, it doesn't look like your West Virginia fraud video is aging like fine wine. It's 34-27 in favor of the Mountaineers. North Carolina stays put. While West Virginia will be moving up. And so Iowa State with a huge upset over NC State moves into the semifinals. They'll take on Boise State. And then Oklahoma State and West Virginia will face off in the other semifinal. As I mentioned, these semifinals are mainly for placement purposes only. We now go to the championship division. This is a big one because the winners of these 4 quarterfinal games will be promoted to the Premier League next year. And it's the number 2 seed in the college football playoff, Washington, going up against Texas A&M. All right, let's see if What If Sports is a fan of chaos. It is not. In fact, we have our first overtime game of these playoffs, and Washington holds on and survives 48-41 in double OT. And by the way, it's not really realistic because now the NCAA forces you to go for 2 after the first overtime. But regardless, Washington moves on. All right, so Texas A&M stays in the championship. While Washington go into the Premier League next year. All right, the next matchup will be Ole Miss versus Tulane. All right, we got Ole Miss versus Tulane. Winner goes up to the Premier League. And it's not even close. It's Ole Miss beating Tulane 55-24. Tulane goes there. While Ole Miss goes into the Premier Division. All right. Next promotion game, we got Louisville going up against Wisconsin. All right, here we go. And it will be the Louisville Cardinals. Moving on, 24-14. All right, Wisconsin. We'll go right there. Louisville. Be going down there. All right, last matchup of the championship division playoffs: Oklahoma versus Oregon State. All right, Oklahoma going up against Oregon State. And it's Oregon State using a 17-point second quarter to take down the Sooners 44-36. All right. Oklahoma goes there. And Oregon State goes right there. So in the championship division semifinals, you have Washington going up against Louisville and Ole Miss taking on Oregon State. And this is for placement in the Premier Division, because I do plan on using that same system this next year. This is basically for scheduling purposes and deciding which team is going to be in which slot. And now for the main event, the Premier Division playoffs, aka the actual college football playoff. We got Michigan, the overall number one seed, taking on Penn State. Okay, so for the playoffs, there's no relegation, there's no promotion. This is just a battle for the national championship. We have Michigan going up against Penn State. As I mentioned, the college football playoff will likely be on a neutral field. I'd say this one is more the Orange Bowl, considering they do allow Big Ten teams in there. Let's go ahead and run. And it will be the Michigan Wolverines. Penn State, they did give them a battle, but it will be Michigan moving on to what would be the Rose Bowl, 26-20. There we are. All right, the next one will be Texas versus Oregon. For this one, I will see this as the Fiesta Bowl, considering the Fiesta Bowl always brings in the Big 12 champions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Fiesta Bowl. And it will be the Texas Longhorns moving on to the Sugar Bowl, 47-35. And I don't know about you, but I'm very excited for this matchup. It is Alabama going up against Georgia. All right, so this is a rematch of the SEC championship game. And Georgia, with a 12-team playoffs, gets another opportunity to defend their title. Let's see what happens in the Peach Bowl. This is where I'm having it. Will we see Georgia get another crack at defending their title? We will not. This game also goes in the double overtime, and again with the unrealistic NCAA rules, but Alabama prevails 40-33 in double overtime. And last but not least, we will have Florida State taking on Ohio State. Okay, so I goofed up on this one. This is the actual Peach Bowl. What Alabama and Georgia were playing and would be the Cotton Bowl.
Dumbasses. Dumbass. 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 Dumbasses. Dumbass. 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 Dumbass.
So that's a mistake on my part. Let's see what goes on in the Peach Bowl between Florida State and Ohio State. And it will be the Florida State Seminoles moving on. So we basically get the top 4 seeds moving on with 27-20. And so we got Michigan going up against Alabama in the Rose Bowl, which has happened in real life. And what people really hoped would be this one, Texas versus Florida State in the Sugar Bowl. But Washington, as I mentioned earlier, was in the championship division. Don't worry, they're going to be moving up to the Premier League this year, as will Louisville, who they'll be going up against. Ole Miss and Oregon State will meet in the other matchup. And after a huge upset over NC State, Iowa State will be going up against Boise State. And Oklahoma State will take on West Virginia. And then Missouri will be facing James Madison. And Arizona will be going up against Kansas. So that is going to do it. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. And stay tuned for part 4, because not only will we have the semifinal games, but we will also have the championship games in each division. So stay tuned for the series finale of What If the FBS was in the style of the English football pyramid. So please feel free to like, comment, subscribe for more content such as this. And feel free to put in the comments what other What If series I should do next. And that's going to do it for me. Until we meet again, I'm Casey. You've been watching the Red Rum All Sports Network. I'll see you guys in the next one.